Quite excited to bring you another episode of UJ Sport on UJTV. Welcome to this episode. My name is Collen, and today I'm excited to talk to Lythe Pillay, a UJ paceman in the 400 meter as well as the 4x400 meter relay. This man has won gold at the national champs in Pietermaritzburg earlier this year. He went on to win a silver medal for South Africa in the 4x400 meter relay in the Bahamas, and he's qualified twice, not once, twice, to represent South Africa in the Paris 2024 Olympics. One of the exciting things as well, Lythe Pillay became the second UJ student athlete to qualify to represent South Africa in the Paris 2024 Olympic Games in France. To speak to us, we've got the man himself here, and he will tell us more about what he does in the 400 meters. For those of you that you guys don't know, who is Lythe Pillay?
So I'm a 400 meter sprinter. I grew up in Benoni, went to primary school there at Arbor, and then went to King Edward VII School for high school. And then ever since then, I've pretty much been introduced to the international scene in athletics.
All right. Just tell us about your running journey. When did you start running, and when did you realize that you've got a talent to run?
So I was introduced to athletics in grade 1 when I started primary school, and then I've pretty much been running ever since, dabbling in different sports. And then it was grade 7 when I made nationals for the first time that I sort of realized that there was more to it. And then fast forward to me entering high school, that's where I met, Coach Shoes, and from there, everything just picked up and took off from there.
And you've been running different events. When did you join the University of Johannesburg athletics club? And how many international events have you so far participated in?
So I joined the UJ club in my first year of university. And to date, I've competed in about, maybe 5 or 6, 7 international events. Yeah.
And I've seen that there were UJ students that went to the FISU World University Games in 2023, and you sort of ditched that one to go and join the World Champs in Hungary last year. You went there with Ryan Mphahlele, who was also a UJ student, and it seemed like it got tougher when you guys arrived there. You finished in the heats, you didn't make it to the semis or the finals. What happened there?
It was a bit of a tactical decision to miss out on the World Student Games due to them being very close to one another. And it had been a long season for myself last year. I had picked up I had a few obstacles to overcome throughout the season. And it being my first year as a senior, there was still a lot to learn, a lot to be exposed to on the senior rank, competing at top events, competing against the top athletes in the world. So last year was really a big learning curve for myself and my coach. And the experience we gained there has definitely translated to a lot, or to our approach. Let me try that one again. So our decision to skip World Students and go to World Champs was a bit of a tactical one, especially with the two events being close to one another. But our whole goal and intention at World Champs was to see how I can line up against pretty much the best in the world at one event. So the goal was to pretty much go see how I can rank up against the top athletes in the world at World Champs. Not taking away from the level of competition at World Students. Because, our ultimate goal was to get myself used to competing against those lineups, seeing those really big household names at events and getting myself psyched up to run against them. And, it being my first year, it didn't end the way I would have wanted it to. But looking at the season, especially when we had to make the last minute sacrifice in training to try qualify the relay team for the World Champs. So that did kind of throw us off with training a bit. So we did go into Budapest a bit undercooked. But everything we've learned from last year has pretty much molded the way that we approached everything this season. When it comes to racing, when it comes to picking races, how we approach races, how we adjust training around races, and how we plan ahead of time. So that definitely has given us a lot of insight.
Yeah. So I was about to say that you seem to have drawn some valuable lessons from that championship in Hungary last year, because you sort of did the same thing again this year when you skipped the USAs or the University Sport South Africa Championships, which were held in Stellenbosch in early April, to go and compete in the ASA National Champs in Pietermaritzburg at Umsunduzi Stadium, athletic stadium there. That's where you picked up the gold and actually qualified for the 400 meter sprints to go to Paris. You did very well there. Just tell us your approach there. Was it also the lessons that you've drawn from Hungary, or was it always just the goal to qualify for the Olympics?
So I mean, obviously I have my sporting commitments and like the events that I have to compete in, and having to make the decision to withdraw from USAs was a very difficult decision. I mean, looking at it, we knew that we were going into essays against athletes who had less races under the legs than I did. Me having come from under 23s and then having to go into USAs prior to essays would have put me at a bit of a disadvantage. And I mean, especially looking at the competition, I mean, guys like Sakiti Nene, Guardio Isaacs, Matt also came down, David Tite came down to compete. So we knew that it wasn't going to be a walk in the park. So our whole approach was putting all our chips into essays just to ensure my best chance at qualifying. And I mean, we knew that the winning time would have to be a sub 45. And I mean, it turned out better than we had anticipated it to. But also it does sort of reinforce our confidence in our sort of planning and our interpretation of the season.
Yeah. Of course, you finished there with 44.31 seconds in Pietermaritzburg there. Still confidence high. During that time, you sort of waited for a week or two, and then you went to the Bahamas to compete in the World Relays there. SA put a formidable team where you guys teamed up with Wade van Niekerk, Guardio Isaacs, Zagiti Nene, and Matt. Tell us, how did you guys prepare for that one? Considering that you guys were the best in Pietermaritzburg and then you had to go and put a strong showing there in the Bahamas.
I mean, I can actually attribute our performance to our good chemistry. I mean, all of us had a ball, we all clicked. And I think what's nice is that even though we do compete against one another back home, when we came together to form a relay team, we all just bought into the idea.
Who puts the relay team together? Is it you guys, you just pick yourself up, or is it the officials at the ASA?
It would be the relay coach that sort of discusses with us, and because our coach Paul, what he typically does is tells us what his thoughts are on the relay team, who he thinks should go where, and then obviously he runs it by all of us and we all confirm. And yeah, so I mean, all of us were willing to contribute wherever the team felt we could contribute the most. And I mean, yeah, we put it together quite well, and I mean, we had a ball while doing it.
Yeah, I saw the heats there, very interesting. I think in one of the heats you finished in first position. It was a one-horse race basically, a two-horse race, so to speak, because it was Botswana, South Africa, from the heats all the way to the end. And you guys finished in second position with a silver medal. I want you to just take us back to that moment, because when you took the baton, you were in fourth position and you were the last athlete for South Africa to finish that relay, right? From fourth position to overtake two guys and finish in second position there. How did you do it? What went through your mind?
Well, I just knew that the more people I caught, the more money we'd each get. So, but other than that, I mean, I won't give myself credit for all of it. I mean, my team put me in striking distance, so I won't go and say I pulled a rabbit out of a hat on that race. But yeah, I mean, the three guys who started the race off put me in that position to do what I had to do. And I mean, luckily what I was able to do was enough to get us a silver. And yeah.
I mean, from fourth position to second, and you win that a silver medal there and on the international stage. Also a boost for our very own Wade van Niekerk. I hear that he hasn't won a medal for 7 years straight. And that was sort of his first medal after that 7 years. I mean, he took a long break after getting injured and stuff. Did that make you feel somehow about that, to just put the man back in the game?
I mean, all of us do look up to Wade in a large way. I mean, I like to say that a lot of us are here because of him. He planted the initial seed, and a lot of us are inspired by him. So obviously, being able to help contribute towards him achieving that after so long was a bit of an honor for us. But I mean, we know that Wade still has a lot left in the tank. We know he's still gonna put up a really good fight this year in Paris. And yeah, I mean, end of the day, I feel like what was nice was that even though Wade being the world record holder in our team, he didn't come with that attitude. He pretty much brought himself down to everyone else's level. We were all on the same level. I mean, we like to say he was Alcia Kolisi. So I mean, yeah, he led us quite well. And at the end of the day, I mean, we all bought into the idea and we all had fun while doing it.
Yeah, thank you. So, Lythe, let's speak about your journey now from here up to the 28th of July, when you guys go and compete on a track in France there. What do you think you should do now, or what do you have to do now to make sure that you arrive in Paris in top condition for you to do what you do best on a track?
So I mean, for now we've pretty much gone back into a block training session, or like a training block, and then we have one event lined up in Europe just to sort of open up the valve, see where I'm at, and it also allows us enough time to sort of touch up and add on anything if we need to, building up to Paris. But yeah, no, so for now the main objective is just train, build, get myself back into the shape that I was in at SA Champs, and then just get a race to sort of test the water to see how I'm responding to training, and then from there we just go guns blazing.
And as a youngster, I mean, you've competed with the likes of Akane Simpine, Wade van Niekerk. There's a young guy also from Botswana called Tebogo Letsile, who's lighting up the stage, international stage, in quite amazing, and it's beautiful to watch him do that. Just happy for the fact that he's from the SADC region as well. How does it feel to compete with such a well-known names such as Akane Simpine? I mean, when you went to the World Champs, he was there with you as well.
I won't lie, I still do get a bit starstruck every now and then. I'm a bit more used to AK and Wade, seeing that I've competed with him a lot. Tebogo also got to like meet him, and especially as he, like, you know, rose to stardom. But I mean, it definitely is an honor being able to compete with athletes, being able to be compared to those athletes. But for me, I enjoy competing with them, pushing myself, seeing where I rank up against them, and also trying to give them a bit of a challenge.
Yeah. Lythe, let's speak about the UJ Athletics Club. When you joined this club here, what do you think would say are some of your, the things that you think you've improved over the years since you became a student athlete at UJ?
I'd say I've become more consistent, especially having that support in the background, knowing that the guys at UJ, the staff and the teammates are all there to support each other, myself included. So no, I definitely have become a lot more consistent, a lot more confident as an athlete, a lot more comfortable in the senior ranks. And yeah, no, I think to summarize it, I'm a lot more cemented as an athlete. So yeah.
So quite excited that we've got Shoes, who is the coach for Lythe here. I think when you started here, he was your coach, right?
When I started high school.
When you started in high school. And I'm glad that we brought Shoes here, so he'll be able to tell us how this young man performed when he was still young, and how sort of has he improved over the years to be the star that he is today. Shoes, please come through, and Tepo Lefite, aka Shoes, ne?
International Shoes.
The Shoes, the footballer, or
The
which
footballer,
Shoes?
yes.
The footballer.
The footballer.
So you played football as well.
I used to play football as a kid, yeah.
Is it? So why the switch from football to athletics? What happened?
Once this bug bit me, I could never look back. From the age of 10, I've been competing, and I loved it since, and I never stopped, yeah.
Okay. So you coached Lythe in high school, he says.
I met him when he was in grade 8. When he entered Ks, and I was hustling, being a coach, and I was able to identify this young man and, work on his mind, track him a bit so he can also love it. Let the bug bite him as well, and next thing he started performing, yeah.
And you guys are still here. You find yourself together here at the University of Johannesburg as well. How did this marriage happen?
Like I said, it started from high school, and when I met him, and I met his family as well. And ever since, I've been in close relation with him, with his family, and we've been close ever since, yes.
So who came here first? You, and then you brought him?
Yes, I came here, and you could say I was a young recruit as well, bringing him here too, to advise him to, not just run, but look at the books too, I guess.
Yeah. Shoes is a maestro in the hurdles, 110-meter hurdles. That's what you run currently. I saw you light up the stage in Stellenbosch as well there. So please tell us, how has the metamorphosis been, the transformation that you've seen Lythe as a youngster to what he is now? What would you say are some of his improvements and stuff?
Well, I would say mentally he's always been strong. As a kid, he's always been curious, trying to find out ways to get better. I mean, we went to SAs under 15, but he was 14. And he still came fourth. He was in the final, and that's where you could see that this kid could potentially go further than other kids. And like I said, him absorbing the mental pressure of being with other kids, running with foster kids, and improving yearly. Because yearly he's been improving. Like, I got him, he was running like 52, 51. After that season, he went 49. The next season, he went SA record. So you could see, like, okay, how do you maintain this type of talent?
Sure, very exciting. For your coach to speak about you like that, Lythe, what do you think is some of the things that you appreciate about him, having been with him since high school?
Oh, definitely the mental conditioning. I mean, he's pretty much greatly influenced my mindset, my mentality when it comes to the sport, how I approach the sport, how I tackle racing, how I push myself through those hard sessions, especially when the sport doesn't become as enjoyable as when you are winning. And I mean, that's pretty much what carries me up until now, my mindset. So I believe that my mindset and one's mind is one's strongest asset. If the mind doesn't work, the body won't follow. And that's pretty much words that have been drilled into me from, the one and only. But that definitely has contributed greatly to where I am now.
So out of a curious mind like myself, like my mind, is it possible for an athlete to run without having a professional athlete? I mean, a coach?
It becomes very difficult. I'd say in the beginning, no, because you need to outsource that information, that knowledge. Because starting off as an athlete, you don't have that knowledge. Obviously, as you progress, as you become more experienced and become wiser, you start to pick up on things, pick up on trends, understand the sport, understand how the body responds, how the body works. But initially, you do need someone with that insight, with that information to guide you. Because without that, you're just going to be running between two lines.
So some of the things that you appreciate about Lythe, having seen his growth from high school to what he is now, what would be your top 3 things that you appreciate about him?
Top 3, okay, because I have a lot. That he's humble, that he's grounded, and that he never forgets. He never forgets his own people, from his family to his friends to his coaches to his teammates, because he helped them a lot. And also his heroes as well, like he said, Akani and Wade. Because when he was upcoming, those guys were still hard. When Van Niekerk broke the world record, I think, what was 2016? You were what, grade 8 by the time? Grade 7. So he came out the following year after that, and I'll be like, yo, dude, that's my close friend. I know him. I think he can do something similar too. And next thing, the hunger began from there. So for him, also remaining curious and always never being satisfied. I think for me, that's very important, because like you said, he can still go quicker, probably go for sub 44 one day, but he mustn't stop searching. He must never settle. So I'm happy that he's not settled yet.
Yeah. All right. Quite impressive. Thank you very much, Coach. At the age of 21, he's going to his second Olympic Games in France. The first one being the Tokyo Olympics, of course, in 2020. When I think back and looking at some of the established world athletes like Usain Bolt, he retired at the age of 31. So you still have 10 years to go. Do you think you can improve from what you are now and what you're doing now to set the world records like Usain did?
So one thing I don't throw out there is the topic of world records. Like, not because I'm shying away from the idea, but because I believe that I keep my goals internally. But there definitely is lots of room for improvement, even now, especially after essays. Like, my initial response is looking back and saying, okay, but now, what could I have done differently? How could I have done a little bit better? So, I mean, me having that mindset, I mean, looking back at essays at my PB from this year, I can definitely see myself going faster. Granted that I work on the things that I've identified I can work on, and also I do believe that there are still things that I'm yet to identify that I can work on. There are things that might take longer to work on than I might anticipate them to. But, I mean, looking at what I've been able to accomplish so far in terms of time and performance, I do see that there's still a lot more potential that I have hiding, that I must go out and find and uncover and dig out.
Yeah. So it can only get better from here, get even better.
With the right amounts of work and hard work, and yeah.
So, Coach, your words of encouragement to Lythe before he jets off to Paris?
Yo. My thing will be, if he can get closer to that PB again, especially at the right time. Like, I think he can make the heats compared to the last time. When he went last year, when he went to World Champs, he got knocked out in the heats. But this time, I think he can make the heats. But if he can go the same time as he did at Nationals, he could see himself in the finals, and that will be historic. So I think he must just keep his eye on his personal best, focus on himself, on his own lane, and I think it's very possible that he can go a nip a bit quicker, maybe go 44-1. You'll never know. But at the right time in the semis, anything can happen.
Yeah. So there's, of course, 2 events that you're going to compete in. It's the 400 meter as well as the 4x400 meter relays. Which one is your sort of top bet?
Top bet in terms of...
Like the one that you think you can obviously do well. With the relays, it's a bit tricky because you have to, also rely on the other teammates. But the 400, where do you see yourself finishing there?
I mean, I back my teammates 100%. I have a good team. I'm very blessed to be with the team I have. Myself, like I'm saying, it's very open-ended. It all comes down to what I do on the day. And like the plan is try replicate my PB closer to the semi-final, because I do forecast this year's times being a bit crazy at the Olympics. So obviously you'll need a crazy time to get through to the final. And I mean, if I make a final, that's a bonus and one. But for me, it's just like, focus on what I have to do. Focus on replicating my performances, being consistent, being in control, most importantly. And then from there, see what my body does.
With athletics, especially the young stars or the people that are celebrated in the world, we sort of we start seeing them from a very young age, or when they just entered the scene, right? And then you see them rise to stardom a little bit, but with time they get better until they become these world class athletes that everyone knows about. And of course, those people fade away as well, with the people like the likes of Usain Bolt having retired. Then you also have to look at new talent that's going to be celebrated by the entire world. I just mentioned Tebogo Letsile from Botswana, who is one of those people that have sort of excited us on our screens, with the commentators talking so much beautiful things about him. Do you see yourself getting into that scene as well at some point? I mean, you're still young and you still have time ahead of you.
I've never really thought of that. For me, it's just focusing on what I can control. I can't control the hype I get around. I can't control how people view me or how people commentate about me, but I can control the amount of work I put in. And obviously, wherever that gets me, I'm grateful for where that is. But I'm hungry for the accolades for the time, not for the attention.
Lythe, absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much, Shoes. Thank you very much. I love it when the commentators introduce the athletes at the beginning. Just before they start running there, they say, in lane 2, we've got Lythe Pillay from South Africa. And I'm so happy when I hear that. And of course, we're going to speak to some of the athletes here that train with Lythe Pillay at the UJ Athletics Stadium. We've got Sabelo Dlamini, who will tell us a bit more about Lythe and some of the stuff that he has seen or inspired from him. Thank you, Lythe.
Thank you for having me.
Sharp, sharp. To add more to this interesting conversation about Lythe Pillay is Sabelo Dlamini, a master's student at UJ who has been training at the Athletic Stadium here in Westdene. He has won a gold medal in the 400-meter hurdles, in Stellenbosch in the USAs, as well as a silver medal in the same event in Pietermaritzburg during the national championships, and is of course going to Cameroon to compete in the 23rd Senior African Athletics Championships this month of June in Yaoundé. Sabelo, when did you come in contact with Lythe, and what was your first impression when you saw him?
Timeline-wise, I think I first saw Lythe on social media. I think he had broken the junior 400-meter record. And I was like, my first thought was, this boy is tall and fast. But I met him when he was doing his first year at UJ. And I remember when we actually won gold at the Bloemfontein USA, and I literally handed the baton to him. And I remember seeing him go and thinking, this guy is meant for greatness.
Those are the track and field championships last year, 2023.
2023 USA championships, yes.
Yeah, I remember that. Very interesting there. You guys, of course, emerged as champions of that championship with 350 points. I still remember very well. So let's talk more about qualifying for Olympics. What does it take for you as an athlete, somebody that understands the pain, the endurance that you have to put up with from trainings to championships to qualify? What does it take for somebody to qualify, and what does it mean to finally hit that mark where you know that I'm going to participate on the highest world stage of sports competition?
Olympics, I feel like it really is the ultimate games because it takes a lot just to get into the competition, not to mention to win it. So I'd say as a human being, you need a lot of discipline. You need to surround yourself with people who believe in your dreams. And in yourself, you just have to do all you can because I know it takes a lot. You have to be superhuman to make those games. So when you see people like Lythe make it, you like, yeah, I definitely can. So seeing him run times that are so worldly, I mean, the times he runs can actually win a world championship. So when you see someone like that on a regular who actually is one of the best in the world, it kind of gives you that motivation that you can do it yourself.
I'm excited that we have some athletes that are going to compete in different events in Paris in the Olympics as well as the Paralympics. If Yane van der Merwe, our athlete from the SSD club, gets selected to go represent South Africa there, I think we will watch the Olympics and Paralympics with keen interest, knowing that our student athletes are there themselves. What are your words of encouragement to Lythe before he leaves for Paris?
I'd like to tell him to keep on working hard because he definitely, I mean, he surprised all of us there in Pietermaritzburg when we saw the time he ran. And to think when you actually saw him run, you kind of think he kind of held back just a little. So when you see someone dominate that much, you think he can actually go, I mean, he can run a 43 seconds, which is one of the fastest times in the 400 meter, flat. So when you see him run 44.3, and you can actually see that he has something left, you actually think, yeah, man, this man is destined for greatness. So I'd say to him, he must keep on working hard, keep on trying hitting those times, keep on being disciplined, because life has a lot of temptations. But we aspire to be like him. I mean, for me, I'm literally 0.6 seconds away from Olympic qualification, and I can say that seeing him do that and actually get an automatic Olympic qualifier motivates us as well to like get it out of the way and go to the big games.
Exciting stuff, man. Very excited. Let's speak about you. You're going to the 23rd Senior African Athletics Championships. It's going to be yourself, Shirley Nekubui from UJ, Roger Haitengi, who's the coach and manager for the UJ Athletics Club, Patience Njinkila as a jumps coach, I believe, and who else? Cheswell Johnson, of course, the long jumper from the University of Johannesburg. What do you look forward to there?
I just so at Nationals, I literally lost the gold by a dip. So my main thing is I'm trying to go sub 49 in the hurdles and get an automatic qualification to the Olympics. I mean, the Olympic window hasn't closed yet, and I feel like I'm in shape. I mean, I've come across some niggles, but I feel that I'm definitely fit. So Olympic qualification is always the goal. Getting a medal would be just the cherry on top, but going to the Olympic is definitely one of those goals.
So we're still open for qualification for that. Okay. Thank you so much, Sabelo. Appreciate your time here, and I'm very excited for this upcoming African Championship in Cameroon, Yaoundé. Look out for those athletes there. I hope that we do pick up some gold and bronze and silver and bring them to the University of Johannesburg. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
To speak to us more, again, still on Lythe Pillay, is Shirley Nekubui, a club member for the UJ Athletics Club who has competed in a number of athletics events across the world. Of course, she was in the Bahamas there with the relay team when she competed in the
mixed relay.
Mixed relay.
4x4.
4x4. Okay. And you have been a part of UJ for how long now?
I come last year in September. Now I just like every 1 year in UJ, and I started to present for UJ.
And how has your experience been so far?
And everything for that side, the condition is okay. And I meet a lot of people, fast people, and getting a lot of experience like Pillay, like Agani. Good advice for them.
Have you always wanted to be an athlete? Because I see you like these international events.
Yeah, those two man the primary chera, and I grow like I go to high school, and I like to only just compete, not serious things. But at the time I come 2020 in Joburg, like I start to see people starting compete and use blog and train, doing drills. I feel like, one day I want to be like that.
So you only started running like when you were older. You didn't start running like in primary school and stuff like that.
I start primary school and high school. Maraseras running I start with I come Joburg in first like where? PE Port Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Like he finished for high school under 19, and I take a gap 2020 of a coronavirus. I start with coach team to train in 2021. I change coach. I go to Coach Paul. I train with Coach Paul, and I run 23.2 in 200. In 400 I run 54. And
So sorry, what are your distances that you run? You run 200 and 400 and the 4x400.
my event is 400 meters and 200 and 100 and 4x4.
Oh, I see. So you've been closer to the likes of Lythe Pillay, and he's now going to the Paris Olympics this year. What do you have to say about him, or what do you say to him before he leaves?
For me, I'm gonna say like he plays hard work. He's always working hard. I see her, you are running mixed relay with her in Bahamas. She sacrificed to help us to qualify in mixed relay. But he don't make it because he take number 3. But he pushed to us to qualify in mixed relay.
So you're very grateful for him as well.
Most in the wanna play. You wanna like he's gonna bring the medal from South Africa. I can't say which medal, but like you need any medal. Or the way like he working very hard. I see the last 2 weeks he be running Damo League. I say be position yourself and make sure to finish, and he don't try to check about the time. He just like fighting from until the finish, and don't focus for the lanes. He just run, and I can see like he can bring something in South Africa.
Thank you so much. That was Shirley Nekubuyi, a club member at UJ, who has been traveling with Lythe Pillay in different events, as well as the world, including the world relays that were held in the Bahamas in May. Quite a very interesting conversation between myself, Collen Maepa, and Lythe Pillay, our very own paceman and star here at the University of Johannesburg, who has qualified to represent South Africa in Paris 2024, the Olympic Games. Of course, the Olympics start on the 26th of July, finishing on the 11th of August. And later that same month, the Paralympics will start, where our star champions will compete for different prizes from the 28th of August, finishing on the 8th of September. I look forward to those championships, the different events, and we wish the South African team all the best. And we hope that they bring those gold, bronze, and silver medals to South Africa. From here at UJ Sport on UJTV, we say halala to Team South Africa. We will see you in the next episode. Cheers.
The University of Johannesburg, the future reimagined.